Hey, before we get started, understand that this is not a review. We're going to be talking about the FeiyuTech Vimble 3. Vimble 3. So it's a smartphone gimbal. And the reason why it's not a review is because FeiyuTech sent this into the studio so that we could go through it and decide if we wanted to share information about it with all of you. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's jump right into the demo. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the FeiyuTech Vimble 3. And this is what I'm using to record. I'm using Bluetooth audio. It shows me that it's recording audio. I'm going to tell you that from some of the tests that I've done, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So hopefully this take will work. But what I'm the most impressed with is how well it does at tracking. So I'm in the kitchen. So I'm imagining somebody doing like a cooking show or something. I am about 6 feet away from my phone right now, and the gimbal, the Vimble, is keeping me in the frame as I move about. That's a tremendous amount of freedom, and something that a lot of creators, a lot of individuals running small businesses that might want to do demos and show off their products or show tutorials on how to use their products or why their products benefit could really be helpful, because all you need is a phone and something like the Vimble 3 by FeiyuTech. So again, pretty impressed. Obviously, because it is a gimbal, it's a stabilizer, which allows you to then also pick it up and walk about, and you don't lose this selfie cam tracking thing that's happening. Right? So let me just do a quick demo so you guys can see how that would work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt it so it's got a little extension, so I'm able to extend it. And now I'm going to walk out of the kitchen just so you guys can see some horizontal lines. Let me recenter. There we go. And then you can determine if the up and down, if there's any jitter or any of those weird things that happen sometimes when the stabilization goes really, really wrong. But as you can see, this is way better than shaky video. Much, much, much better than shaky video. And of course, the limitations with the cameras themselves, right? When we're in this high dynamic range, like I have no lights in here. There, you guys can see there are a ton of windows. And sometimes you're gonna get the artifacts that happen in those situations. But again, if I am going back to this whole cooking demo thing, let me just set this up. So I'm standing it up, and there we go. If I go back into this demonstration thing, where I'm purposely keeping the camera not pointed at a window with a really, really bright light source, this is doing what I would consider to be a really decent job. So I'm not a blogger, so I don't go out and make videos while I'm walking in the street or anything like that. I'm not a snowboarder. I used to be, but I live in North Dakota now. So that's not a thing that we do here. But what I do is I work with a lot of business owners, and creating content is something that is a necessary tool to keep and become relevant with your audience, or a better way to engage with audiences. And I think that this is where a tool like this Vimble 3 really comes in handy for a lot of people, regardless of what level you're at. Because some content, especially when content is being created on an iPhone or any modern phone with a good camera, is much better than no content at all. As long as you have a message that makes sense that you want to deliver to your clients. The only tip that I would say there for anyone who is going to start creating content for themselves or for their business is remember to look at the camera, because when you look at yourself, it looks really odd. But when you look at the camera, it's much, 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 much more natural. That's all I got. Let's go back in the studio and finish this review. Thanks. I just want to be really clear. I know I said let's get back to the review, but It is not a review, okay? So this is what the Vimble 3 looks like when it is folded. And to give you a size comparison, this is my iPhone. So, I mean, obviously it's chunky, right? But it is not like super big. I could probably fit this in my pocket. Definitely my back pocket for sure. So that's what it looks like when it's folded. It comes with a little table stand tripod. So you just screw it into the bottom here, just like so, which makes it convenient so that you can set it right on the table and it stands by itself. So that's how I was using it during the demo. Let's unfold it here so you guys can see kind of what that looks like. So there it is, it's unlocked. And now it has this extra party trick where it can extend, so you can extend further out, you know, and like film yourself. And obviously this might be really strenuous on the actual Vimble. So they give you the ability to sort of move it, right? So it goes from normal to this kind of 45-degree angle-ish, or you can go 90 degrees. But there is no in between. So it's either 90, 45, or straight. This seems to work just fine when you're like, you know, recording yourself and walking and talking. That's fine. I know there are other companies that maybe do it different. I don't have a problem with the way that they implemented this. There are plenty of buttons, you know, and each button has multiple functions. So like if you press and hold this bottom trigger button as you're going through, it'll lock all the axes. So it should help stabilize whatever shot it is that you're working on. If you double tap it, it will recenter itself. The top one, if you long press or long hold press the top button, it will switch it will switch between the types of tracking that it'll do. So it either lock off the tilt and roll, or it'll only follow pan shots, or it'll follow all. So it'll go through all the different cycles. And then it's got this A/B button with a little rocker switch here that allows you to set up focus points. I wouldn't mess with that personally because you're using a phone. So if you think your phone is that good that it's going to truly show you rack focus, maybe upgrade to a different tool. I don't know. That's again just my opinion. Overall, I think that this is lightweight, it's plasticky, it's easy to hold. When I had Bert also use it, she didn't seem to mind the weight, which is a good thing. But it is like 100% all plastic. The battery does charge up fairly quick. I think it took maybe 90 minutes or so to charge up, and I haven't charged it again since getting it out of the box. If I had something to complain about with this gimbal or Vimble by FeiyuTech, it would be, I'm going to set this down because it's just flopping all over the place and distracting me. It would be the FeiyuTech app. The FeiyuTech app it's buggy. And what I mean by buggy is, for example, if I want to assign a different function to a long press of any of the buttons, right? Or the buttons that are programmable, because not all of them are. If I want to assign a different function, I can select it in the app, and then it will ask me to save. It goes through a little saving process, and then I get a save confirmation. That's good, right? And then you can get back to your menu and do whatever it is that you want. But if I want to switch the audio source, so instead of using the microphone that's built into your phone, I want to switch to a Bluetooth source. So like I had my AirPods in, I wanted to use AirPods as my microphone source. Once I select it, it kicks me right out of the menu system, and I don't know if in fact it took or didn't take until I go back into the menu system and then confirm that the settings were in fact saved. The other thing that is kind of weird to me is that every time I launch the app, it doesn't remember any of the settings that I had previously. So it defaults to photo mode. It defaults to having the flash on automatic. That's kind of annoying. The only setting it does remember is whether you want the watermark on or off and what type of recording do you want, because you can select from 720 all the way to 4K, 4K 60. So those it does remember. So some stuff it remembers, other stuff it doesn't remember, and that gets to be a little annoying. So that's all I got for this video. That's my take and my first look at this FeiyuTech Vimble 3. I can't tell you if I would recommend it or not. I think you know if you're the type of creator or the type of business owner that could benefit from a tool like this. And in my little demo, you kind of got to see what quality you might be able to expect when using these types of tools to create content. Until next time, I'm Carlos, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next video. Take care.